I'm cutting dice. Look at these eyes. They're not here to please you. There was a time you could be mine. Before all that you put me through, I knew that you were trouble, but I like that you were fine. I'm living in this bubble and it makes you so mad. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like.
Hey guys, I'm aware the stream is live. Just and again, double checking. Can our stream hear me? All right, wonderful. So if we are live here, then let's get started with the broadcast. Hey everyone, good to see you all. We're here with the first match of the CTF Summer Bash 8v8 tournament. This is your commentator Bosuke here, joined by your streamer. The name is Sam. And we've got a match here today between OVO, which is our blue team, and green team, which is our red team. So this is an 8v8 tournament. It's been open signups for everyone, so teams are basically pick-up rosters put together on the spot. Again, we did have a little difficulty setting up, so we're sorry about the stretch where broadcast was muted, but already here we have Pie Jelly, who is known to some of the community as Mr. Bubdub, with a steal that's gotten most of the way across the map, and if Chak doesn't manage to steal here, he's going to get that capture. So, already, strong start to the game for OVO. Now, if I'm not mistaken here, the map we're looking at right now, Bazaar 1, is actually Green Team's map pick, not OVO's. So, already not a great sign for Green Team. Admittedly, they are coming in a little bit as underdogs here, but they don't have a bad roster by any means. Lots of players who are pretty strong in their own right, so we'll see if they can give OVO, who are maybe the tournament favorites right now, a bit of a run for their money. Now, with that all in mind, we're going to see some interesting fights here at mid, I think it's fair to say. Got Chak taking out Pavlik there. And then also Overcast Unicorn, interestingly, is playing Archer right now for blue team. Which is not something I was expecting to see. But, hey, showing its flexibility, I guess. We do have another steal from Bub here. It's heading out towards mid. K-Rex is in the way, as is red team's offense. Moist Mayonnaise, who's the pyro in this match, is trying to catch up, going low ground. And Papkin as well is on Assassin, maybe trying to ambush him, but he's been caught out by Mario. So, with that in mind, I do think this is probably going to be another capture from Bub here, as K-Rex tries to get in the way at the last second, but is not going to manage to do anything. And on the other side of things here as well, we're going to have Mackie fighting Pie Jelly. On top spawn there, Mackie's going to go down. So, again, you know, strong start for blue team, or OVO. Kind of what we expected. I guess, in terms of what else is interesting here, I don't think we have an archer for red. So they're running this setup here without an archer player on Bazaar, which, you know, can happen a bit on AV8 maps. It's not necessarily the most important pick if you're not playing 12s. And we've seen this happen in the draft teams tournament as well, where teams have just chosen to not run archer here. Sewage Breath is going to get taken down at mid. Good catch there from the green team recovery. And I guess we'll follow Overcast here for a little bit, doing something you don't always see, which is an archer steal. Always fun, but does go down there, and now Mayonnaise is going to get caught out by Sewage Breath and Kalig. On the other side of things, though, Doggo does have a steal. That's new player Hoodis. He will go down, and that will give way to what looks like a pretty clean steal on the other side. Is Pie Jelly or Bub, depending on what you want to call him. Heading out towards top mid. He does get taken down by the archer swap there. Jaden actually moved over to the archer to get that headshot, which is a nice little play from him. And also interesting right now is that Moist Mayonnaise is out at the middle of the map with Pyro. He's heading back now, but he didn't actually burn Frenzy there, so still going to have that. Even so, though, it's going to be a bit of a tough situation here. We've seen a lot of good steals from OVO already, and I think we're going to get another one here from Pie Jelly. Heading out towards the top of his spawn, Chak is going to have a steal on the other side, and this is a map where he's definitely very good on Soldier, but, I mean, Pie Jelly is just super clean right now, and he's going to make it to stalemate. So it really comes down to whether Chak's going to be able to live here or not. Does manage to take out Unquiet, and his medic is almost there. He's doing a good job wall spamming to stall, but he does need to get around Participated here and get over to his medic, which he does. He just got the restore, which is good news for this side of things. And we're actually going to head to a stalemate here, as Pab does go down. It'll be interesting to see how teams decide to run their stalemate here in 8s. Overcast Unicorn actually going to get in on the scout. And that's going to be an interesting class choice to follow from him, as well as Mars moved over to the archer here. Mario actually is going to be in range to get headshots very soon, but he's decided to start shooting before the rest of his team has shown up, so Doggo might get in his way and run him off this side of the map. But pressure is definitely on green team right now. They are at a bit of a disadvantage, and already 2 bulk did get in on Chak here, though they will be taken care of pretty quickly. On the other side of things, looks like the roaming is handling recovery from green team pretty well. Jaden did just get taken out by ninjas, and Sayo's already on him again. So, looks like there's going to be an assassin going in on Chak here. Actually takes out the Pyro, so they're going to have a good chance. A lot of damage done to Chak already, but looks like his support is here, and he'll get the restore. No harm done. And one thing going on right now as well that's worth following is that the roam is getting pushed in a little bit for green. Now, with that said, Waves is taking an interesting route here. Going to make it to top mid as the archer without getting pressured. He forces Aussie off the top, but now Pab has spotted him out and gets the assassinate. So Mario's going to get shots now as the rest of his team's getting damage in. This is a decent amount of pressure, but Chak has stepped well out of the way of the archer's line of sight. And so now with 6 minutes 20 left, we're actually already most of the way through the match here. Now Mario's going to be taking some shots here. Looks like his team's getting a bit of pressure as well, and he is still alive for the time being. So good job done by him. He's a little bit of a last-minute substitution here. And he actually lives through the next wave of the ninja as well, although I don't think he's going to get a crazy amount done. Aussie does get in, but gets taken out. Papkin's doing a very good job clearing this recovery here. So shout out to him. Doing good work on the assassin. And now Mario here, again, is going to take shots, but looks like the rest of his team's recovery isn't quite ready to go in. Pavlik is set up, and will be looking to take some players out, but I don't think he got his assassinate off. With that said, though, Moist did have to burn his frenzy, so maybe there's a little bit of a chance here to get one check. Sewage Breath, getting some damage off. Fantastic name on his part, I should say. Jack is getting healed through this, which is good to see. And now Ninja on him, trying to knock him into spawn. He's down to 2 hearts. I think he just managed to get his first bit of healing here, because he was on restore, but Mario was also nearly there to headshot him for a second. So very tense moment there for Jack, I'm sure. I don't think I realized right away that he was on cooldown for his restore. So that'll be something to watch out for if Jack does get an early restore during the stalemates. His medic, Mackie, is going to have to be attentive to that. Now Doggo, or new player who did this, is going to get in and at least force Food Court to use its frenzy on Pyro. Jaden as well is not playing on the Archer anymore. He's moved over to Heavy to get a little more bulk recode, but I think because he's out of mid, he's going to be giving some frenzy hits over to Food Court here. And that's going to mean that that recovery won't come through. So, you know, stalemates are what they are. Not always the most exciting, but hey, pay attention. Food Court's roaming up here. He did burn his frenzy in advance, but he's going to be helping out, getting some damage onto Chak. That's forced Chak to move. He does still have a heavy on him, and Sewage Breath is actually going to get the kill after chasing him out of the flag room. Extra pressure from Food Court ended up being the difference maker there, as forced Chak to run, and that caused some bad decisions to happen from Green Team. But still, pretty long stalemate there, and now with their backs against the wall, Green Team's going to try and get a steal here. Food Court does use his frenzy there to stop the steal from Trimbex, and I think Chak's already taken a lot of damage here, but maybe he'll get some support from the Chem. Looks like that won't work out, and the threat is over for the time being. But, you know, with things being broken down there a little bit, that might have been Green Team's best chance for the immediate future, as, look at this, already Sewage Breath and Kalig are going to get in and get a steal here, after killing the entire defense. Looks like Karex is trying to split the medic from the chemist here, and they're being held up in this area for a while. Pavkin comes in for a very nice assassinate, so well done to him. And now looking out at mid here, Mario is trying to take control of top mid. He's playing on the Archer now instead of Overcast. And looks like he's actually handling Trimbex very nicely here. Trimbex nearly dies to the fall damage there, so that was a lot of work done by the Archer. And Red Team's actually going to get 3 people into the flag area. 4 people, counting Trimbex, who roamed up to try and help. But the headshots and assassinates just mean that group gets taken care of. And on the other side of things, Sewage Breath is heading out to mid here. Now, he's taken some damage. Pavkin and Karex have held him up and will stop him here. But that is a ninja steal from 538. Heading to Blue Team's spawn, actually falls, and Moist Mayonnaise is the first person to track it down. So nicely done to him. With that said, though, 538's already on him. That's a ninja steal from Bub as the follow-up. He's going to pass it to Mario, the Archer, so we might have a potential Archer cap situation here. He's going to try and make it over to the flag here, but actually gets taken down by Jaden, and now Trimbex has the better steal. He's halfway across the map. Mackey's almost there. If he can survive long enough, the medic's going to get to him. He does go down to the headshot, but now Mackey's alive and got boosted towards the flag. If he can kill Bub and keep Aussie off him, it's going to be a cap for Green Team with 1 minute left. And that puts them back in things a little bit, although I don't think they're going to be able to take this map with a minute left. Nicely done to them. OVO maybe getting a little overconfident trying to cap with the Archer. A very nice recovery from Jaden. Now, Pab winds up being the only person alone at the flag room here. He is on a lot of health. Look at all that absorption. He's going to pass to Bub here, who has the premature pearl. It's going to take him most of the way across the map. Will K-Rex catch him? No, K-Rex doesn't see him coming. And that's going to be a 4-1 win here on the first map for OVO. Now I'm going to take a quick second to do some administrative stuff before we get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. Very quick break there. Looks like we're going to be getting on to rundown here, which is OVO's map pick. They'll be pretty well set up for this, I think, as this is a pretty strong Elf and Chemist map, and we did see Sewage Breath do a lot of work on this, on Bazaar specifically. So, looking forward to more good plays for him. I think right now OVO are definitely the favorites. They won Green Team's map pick pretty convincingly, and now I think they're en route to win their own map pick pretty convincingly as well. But who knows? Maybe Green Team can turn things around. Pavkin had a pretty strong performance last map. Chak had his moments. Trimbex came in and did some interesting things on Dwarfs. So I think all around, this team is definitely competitive, but not quite as good as OVO based on what we've seen so far. Maybe they'll be able to turn things around and prove me wrong. And with us getting started here, we are going to see Chak and Mackie heading out towards mid together. And K-Rex is actually roaming up pretty far as Ninja as well. Mackie's going to get jumped on by Aussie, but that leaves Chak pretty much free to go to the flag alone by himself. And he has a one-on-one now against Food Court. So we'll see if he's able to win that. We'll also see if Overcast is able to do anything. I imagine he's on the Elf right now, which is a pretty strong class on this map, but he's being chased around by basically the entire server. So far doing a good job staying alive, and maybe he gets the sponge on top of the building here and will get ahead of the rest of everyone. K-Rex is having a tough time catching up with him, but a nice shot from Jaden takes him out, catching him mid-fly with the Elf Wind. Now Chak on the other side of things is going to get a steal here, actually beats Food Court one-on-one and takes care of the assassin. Mackie's still out at mid, and Chak has taken a good amount of damage. He tries to stall for time there, but unfortunately Mario's headshot takes him out. And we're going to have to head to the other side of the map right away, because Kulig's got a steal. And he's out pretty far. He is the medic, to be clear. So not the best cast class to be capping on. And he drops it for Doggo. Bit of a premature drop there. And that's not going to look very good on stream, but you can see why the idea was there. Pab's going to get a steal after 1v1ing the Pyro. It's a pretty good thing for Assassin to do on this map, to be honest. Pavkin takes Pab out, but that does nothing for Overcast, who's now just winding all the way across the map. Makes it to Glig, that's his medic. Trimbex did have a steal on the other side, but nothing doing. And now it's really going to be on the recovery to slow him down for long enough for Moist Mayonnaise to catch up and maybe get a frenzy. Doesn't look like it's happening, though, and I think Overcast is going to be able to walk this one in. So again, pretty strong start for OVO. It's kind of what you're expecting going into this. They are the favorites. But we have seen some good plays so far as well from Green Team's recovery, so definitely not a map that's out of their hands just yet. Now, with that said, Mario is at mid. Jaden has gone back on the archer. He was alternating between that role and different roles on the previous map, but I think now that we're on Rundown and not Bazaar, he's going to be on that role quite a bit more. Does take out Mario there, as you saw. And we are going to see a steal here, again from Overcast. That elf is very good at nades in terms of being able to get out of the flag room quickly and easily. Overcast is going to, again, make it to his medic. He did get a restore there. Shaq's not going to be able to get the steal on his own. And now K-Rex is basically the last line of defense here, as Overcast tries to make it all the way to the flag room. Does manage to do so, and that's going to be a second cap. Those caps about a minute apart, so very nicely done for him. And we end up with Mario dueling Jaden. This time, Mario gets the better of the exchange. And while Overcast is taking some damage over on the left, Doggo's trying to chase him down, we are going to see Calig and Sewage Breath head down middle and avoid the worst of the damage. They only had one ninja go after them, and that's going to let them keep the pyro away as Overcast goes for a steal. Now Pabkin tries to go for the assassinate, doesn't manage to pull it off. Overcast is at 0 stakes, so if a ninja can beat him to his medic, he will be in a decent position. And actually, K-Rex does manage to just pearl into him and get the kill before the restore can come through, meaning that Calig, the medic, now has the flag. Still, he does have support here. He does have the chemist support in particular, which is going to be very helpful for him. He's been knocked down to 1 stake, and there are 2 ninjas here, so they could get this recovery. It's definitely possible. And if Green Team is communicating this, they may also have the offense get in his way of the flag. Trimbex does get a steal and get out of the flag room. Good news for him, and actually Mackie restores off the frenzy. So they are in a better holding position if Trimbex doesn't get headshot. Calig's going to have to figure something out, as he's on no stake right now. And there isn't a second medic that can come to restore him. Instead, they're going to move over to the Angel, and they're going to get some hard stun on him like that. And I think he's in a little bit better holding position now. A bit of chaos on the other side of things as Moist Mayonnaise picks up the flag. And with that being the case, I mean, both of these flag holders are in a little bit of a precarious situation. One's holding on Pyro, the other's holding on Medic. And wow. Mayo goes down. Trimbex is going to get a backup, but that's not going anywhere, and Calig's going to get the capture. So, some slight silliness going on right now, I think it's fair to say. But again, this has looked very strong from Ovo. It is their map pick after all. We're going to see water go down here from Overcast. And Mayo's actually going to get some good hits on him, but even so, Overcast gets out of the flag. Nice assassinate from Papkin's, going to take care of that. But now 538, that's Sayo or Alaska. He's managed to get to his spawn. Very nice ninja steal from him. And unless Mackie's able to stay alive here, I think that's probably going to be the match, as Sewage Breath TTV walks it in on the steal from Sayo. So, good game there. We're going to see OVO advance. And, yeah, definitely a little bit of a one-sided game, but props to Green Team for keeping it competitive, especially on the first map, and getting a cap. So we'll be heading to break for the time being. We may come back here with the other match if it's going on, and then we'll take another break before finals. So catch you guys then, and we'll be going to break for the time being.
I'm cutting dice. Look at these eyes. They're not here to please you. There was a time you could be mine. Before all that you put me through, I knew that you were trouble, but I let that you were bad. I'm living in this bubble and it makes you so mad. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. Don't need you to like. Don't need you to like. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, 'cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. Don't
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the CTF Summer Brawl. This is our 8v8 tournament, and you've made it here in time for the finals, so congratulations. Go you, you're awesome. This time around, I've got commentary help, so everyone say hello to Cardona and Avi. Guys?
Hello, everyone. Glad to be commentating today. It's been a fat minute, and my team is out of the tournament, but what better way to spend your Saturday afternoon?
Hello, everyone. It is a great afternoon for some CTF action. Today we've got Citrix taking on OVO.
For a little bit of a backstory with these teams we have right here, Citrix is notably named after the official team, what that once was, Citrix, containing a lot of their key members, such as Wolfie98, Neemwo, iFlays, and we have OVO, which is kind of like a makeshift Olympus, having a lot of their powerful players such as Aussie, Food Court, Participated, and Alaska. What do you guys think about that?
Well, they've got a lot of beef, that's for sure. They've played quite a few times in the past, and they haven't always been super cordial to each other. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case a little bit here today. These guys did also match up, or some of them at least, in the 5v5 tournament, and Budget CX took that match over the Olympus core. So it'll be interesting to see if Olympus can get a little bit of revenge here. But we're starting here in a second, and as we get started, just want to hear some quick predictions. Cardona, Avi, who do you guys think is going to take this match?
So I'll go first here. I believe the official record between Citrix and Olympus in the past, in terms of official teams with notably bigger sizes, I think is 3-0 in favor of Olympus. I could be wrong. But because of that, and because their roster is just very strong overall, I have my money on OVO here.
I do have to agree. I think Olympus is a super strong roster. Citrix did have a good roster coming into this tourney, but they didn't play. They played super well against Delta Force, but not to their max potential. So I would have to agree with Cardona on the Olympus pick here.
Now, I do want to say that it's a little bit disingenuous to call these teams essentially Olympus and Citrix. There's some pretty big pickups both teams have had. First off, and it's hard to ignore, is the fact that Citrix are playing with any class, who folks might know as 93. Very strong player, that guy, and as I'm sure the GeForce roster here in the call is aware, pretty strong elf player, which is class he's on right now. Also, Red Army Faction is a former Annihilation and Rocket Seas player, known otherwise as Gaming Socks or Oila, so also a very good ninja player in his own. And then for the O side of things, Switch Breath TD is Yubao, Pie Jelly is Bub, although he's not playing in this match, or at least on this map. So two pretty big upgrades there as well. They're both very strong offense players.
Yeah, that is definitely worth pointing out here. We also have pretty standard roles for most of them. You got pretty much everything that's expected, but at the same time, they are also having to adapt to a very much less played format nowadays in 8s, which means there's a lot more potential for solo carry. Definitely opens up some of those big names you mentioned, such as Bub and any class.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Bub's not playing, to be honest. I guess he might not be around for this round of the tournament, but this is definitely a map where he has quite a bit of experience, both on Elf and on Soldier, and that flexibility is a nice thing. But it's possible that they rate Overcast a little better on the Elf here.
Yeah, perhaps. He is definitely more in practice compared to Bub at this point in time, I would say. We do have a medic steal from NMPZ, or Carson, does end up going down to the Assassin right outside flag room.
I think one of the
laggy Aussie.
I think one of the biggest things to see from Citrix's offense here is whether OVO's ninjas, Alaska, and not sure the second one is, but can they shut down any class here? Because he is a super threat on Elf.
And on the other side of things, can their defense shut down Overcast? Because he's already halfway across the map here. This is a good steal from them.
Did
And,
end up dropping to
oh,
0
wow.
stakes. Oh my.
Nice heal there from Kalig. They baited the pyro in, and Kalig was ready with the restore to clear that fire off.
So the crazy thing about that is that he was on 0 stakes for about 5-7 seconds before the pyro even got there. And they probably knew he was alive or just didn't get the restore on time. He was being assaulted by ninjas and lived that whole time.
So Flaze has this now on the other side of things here. That was a medic steal initially, I believe, but he's actually halfway across the map as heavy. If he can avoid the headshots here, I think he makes it to stalemate.
Yeah, pretty interesting. We do have Heavy versus Elf here. Elf notably has a lot more mobility to get away, but depending on the holding spots that are decided upon, it will make a bit of a difference on whether or not certain strategies such as Void Swap and Bulk will be able to get the job done.
So it looked like Citrix actually got that steal while one of OVO's players maybe had lagged out. Aussie was not in the match server at the time they got that steal, and was not whitelisted until quite a time later. So Citrix might have gotten off with one there, but we are in stalemate now.
That is very unfortunate. Whitelist was turned on, but was not turned on for each player and enforced. A bit of a technical error there. Leads us into this stalemate.
Yeah, very unfortunate with that situation. With that being said, though, we are in a recovery situation now from both teams. And as we see Citrix's recovery get taken out there for a quick second, I want to know what you guys think. Avi first, who do you think has the edge here on recovery?
I do want to say that I think OVO has the edge on recovery just by pure PvP skill. They have some great clickers. Alaska, Aussie, Food Court Pad, and I think just that brute force will give them the edge in this stalemate.
Yeah, I mean, you do seem pretty bullish on OVO all around, so I guess that's not really a surprise. Cardona, did you have something you wanted to add?
I do think that if OVO is able to get the bulk in, they will have a significantly better chance of recovering. People such as Aussie coordinating it definitely does make the difference. However, the holder difference is notable here, more so with the class rather than experience holding. And I do think that players such as 93, or rather any class on Scout, is going to make a big difference if this goes for a long enough amount of time for that DT multiplier to rack up.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with that being said, I don't want to discount Citrix either, because they are a pretty experienced, pretty strong roster on their own. With that said, though, I do want to draw a little bit of attention as well to the fact that Z-Cray was having lag issues here and there, and right now we're actually going to scrap that thought, because Overcast has evacuated the flag room and is getting shot at. BT on, but no one's immediately around him right now.
Hi. Oh,
he's
the
off the
swap
map.
comes off, but he's able
Does
to get
93
back.
hit him? No, not quite.
Very
And then-
close there.
On the other side of things, we had Flays drop to a headshot. He's able to pass it back, but very close, very tense moments there on both sides of the map.
Absolutely. Looks like Overcast is even low on wind after that. I'm not on the server, I'm watching Sam's stream, just so I can better describe what the viewers are seeing.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting to me as well here with this setup is that Citrix are using gaming socks here to go after Overcast and Food Court. So he's not actually roaming for the Archer and so on and so forth on recovery. But also interesting here is that the Pyro is halfway across the map here for Citrix. He's getting harassed a little bit, but he might make it to the flag holder. That's
Worth noting,
right.
he has to get past a lot less in SI such as 8s. So he has a better chance of success overall.
Yeah, just wasn't really there with anyone else on his team. Ended up in a 5v1, which is unfortunate. Now this
looks
does
like
look like an interesting attempt here from Citrix, but no real threat. And I think for the last minute or so, OVO have had everyone home, basically. They weren't sending a lot of people up. They were just making sure that the roaming and the recovery got taken care of. With that said, though, Wolfie took out the first 2 ninjas after him here. He's still alive. I think he's very low health, but that's going to give an opportunity here for Citrix
Yep,
to get
still
the recovery.
alive. Taking shots unopposed. And Pyro is also up, coming into flag right now, forcing movement.
Yeah.
Ooh, but burns the frenzy early to take care of the roaming. Overcast is able to escape.
If that happens
Not
in a
before getting death
slightly...
tag.
Yeah, if that happens in a slightly different order, if the Pyro goes in first and forces...
Oh my gosh!
Oh my... Wow. Okay,
Getting Sucks
Pyro
is able
holds
to
her
drop
right
him
now.
while DT'd.
Yeah, they're gonna pass to a heavy though, so maybe this all works out.
Ooh, that is quite unfortunate.
Oh, still 93 there. Gets the DT off. There's
Oh,
an
and
ninja as
Medic is
well.
swapped away.
They actually
He's on
knocked
2
him
hearts.
down to 2 hearts.
Oh my gosh, and Flaze is in the void on the other side of the map. College is able to get a backup as Dwarf, needs to get rid of these ninjas, but doesn't. First cap is going to go to OVO. That got ridiculously close. Overcast hanging on with 2 hearts as Heavy versus Ninja and Scout.
Yeah, they're also down a player right now. So, do hope they have whoever they need whitelisted.
Looks like they are bringing in Pie Jelly, aka Mr. Bub Dub.
Yeah, it's hopefully going to be done pretty quickly here. I think Wolfie is our only mod on the server right now. So I know Winter was around helping. I don't know what happened there exactly, but it's been a little bit of a running theme today that we've had people in and out in terms of staff. So
It is unfortunate, but it is also something we're going to have to deal with.
yeah. So, with that all being the case, we do have Bub in, which is probably pretty good news right now for OVO. They are still up a cap, despite all the issues they've had with whitelisting and so on, but this is also their map pick, and I'm sure they want to win this by as wide of a margin as they can. Nice assassinate there from Pab. Takes care of some of the players, but on the other side of the map, we did see a steal there briefly from Overcast before he got taken down.
Looks like for the most part, the defenses are holding up pretty well. It's also worth noting that the map should be shortened to 15 minutes, I believe, which does mean it's a much faster paced game. There's more demand to get caps in a shorter amount of time if you're down, unfortunately for Citrix.
Yeah, emphasis on should. Regardless, we are well into this map, and we're going to see the Citrix roam here do quite a bit of work.
dear
They're going to
Lord.
take out Calig. And it was just a 4-man mob running at OVO's offense, and you can sort of see why things fell apart for them there.
And
Now,
if
It
I
does
might
look
add,
like they're kind of staggered here.
If I might add to that, one of the things Citrix did against GeForce really well, especially in Waitomo Caves, was they would kill at least two of our offense, and then at least like 2 or 3 of them would roam up and help their own offense. So it just meant a huge imbalance going into the other team's flag room, and we'll see if they will be able to do that here against OVO.
Yeah, we did see a good steal there a second ago as 93 got in, got out, got the restore, but as soon as you thought he had a little bit of space, OVO's ninjas got in front of him and just didn't let him go anywhere. It's maybe having a little bit of a hard time even. Not something you usually say about 93, but these ninjas on defense are pretty darn strong.
It is worth noting that during the GeForce match, 93 was trying a bit of Soldier on a couple of different maps, but once he swapped to the Elf, he was definitely making things work a lot more consistently. So I do support this class style. He does get regen in the flag room, but Pyro is still alive, critting out. Looks like he's almost out of wind, does manage to escape, still has a lot of stuff in
Root
front.
is big, but the ninjas are going to be able to pearl at him. Does have a
Looks
ninja
like
there
he's-
to support, but I don't... Oh, he's going for the
Oh
path.
wow, the ninja path
They
has
actually
gone on.
kill Alaska, too. He's going to make it to spawn. No, he doesn't
Oh, but
quite.
Bub is right there in time.
Yeah, very nice attempt.
That was extraordinarily good stalling from 93. I did not think he had that much wind left.
Still, credit where credit is due elsewhere. Ovo's offense are ahead, and we're going to see Yubao and Overcast make it into the flag here together. So this should be a pretty good attempt for them. Looks like Yubao's actually going to get the
Pyro does
steal
die.
as they killed the Pyro. So, again, very big. See if Yubao can get some space here. I think he might try for the tunnel, but before he can go anywhere, Nemo gets in and gets the assassinate. There will be
We do have
a
the backup from a Ninja
Overcast.
here, though.
It's Ninja. He's at mid, but College is going to sniff it out real quick and take care of that threat.
It's unfortunate. He probably could have afforded to Pearl a little bit further, closer to his team's spawn. There wasn't much on him.
Yeah. So the offense setup here is also pretty interesting for Citrix. And Wolfie's on the back. NMPZ is playing the heavy. So it's actually a situation where, because Citrix don't have the chemist, they're maybe missing a capping threat that they'd like to have otherwise.
Perhaps the heavy is here to eat a little more pressure, kind of relieve Overcast. Or not Overcast, rather 93.
But he needs
do have
medic
Bao.
support, and he does get it.
Ooh, does get soloed by Nemo, who could have probably had strength there to crit him out.
Now, the heavy's tanked a lot of damage here, but he is on no stake. 93 is going to try and pick it up. 93 doesn't quite get it. Overcast hits him away. That flag pickup timer is being really mean to Citrix right now.
We do have any class out with the heal. He does not get the win, got knocked out of it, so he's not able to get roof. But he is able to go far side with generally few things on him.
A pass to the assassin? What's he doing?
Looks like he was one hit away from death. Decided to risk it all.
Yeah. Close call there, I guess, but I don't think Nemo is going to be able to take it much further. Sort of have to go for whatever chances there are.
Yeah, it is 8, so you have much less opportunity to pass to anything that will actually have stamina. Especially if they're roamed up.
Yeah. We have a match here, one between Yubao and, I believe that was Flays, and Flays got taken down there. And that's the other interesting thing going on right now. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I do think NMPZ can play bulk D, and Flays is playing that role instead.
I do believe NMPZ has experience with bulk D, but I do also think that his communication overall, just unmuted, probably a little stronger than Flaze's overall, if you were to put Flaze on offense. We do have a Ninja Steal here from Bub, able to pearl across the map very quickly, skipping right past the elf to get medic regen.
He's at spawn, and he doesn't actually need to go for a pass. Very nicely done.
Pretty good decision making there, seeing that he was already outpacing many of the Citrix players.
And he did that really well too, because he was using those short pearls once he had regen to make sure he didn't actually lose it, because Ninja does lose its medic regen once it gets to full health. So
Exactly.
Smart decision making there, and that kept him alive all the way to the flag.
Coming down to 3 minutes here, Citrix do want to make plays on this map if possible. It is their map pick after all. They are unfortunately getting snuffed out by the roaming very well. OVO holding up strong throughout the entire map.
Yeah, definitely strong showing from them so far, and obviously if this does go any further, it gets a little bit dicey here for Citrix. With that said, though, I mean, the one thing about that airlock pick is that that's going to mean Mario's locked into Archer the entire time, as he's substituting for an Archer-only player. And I don't know that Food Court necessarily took that into account.
Very true. It is a little bit of a complication, but due to one of OVO's key players, Enderbrine and Archer, being unable to make the match, under 24 hours after the roster lock, we were able to bring Participated in for OVO at the expense of his class lock, seeing as he has a very skilled and diverse set of roles that he can man. We do have a ninja
Steals. He's at mid. This is a chemist now.
Does have
Yeah.
the
Very
mid
smart
and
play
a lot of
from
support.
The Pyro's right there, so we're going to have to keep the Pyro away, and that might make Wolfie a little more exposed to the ninjas.
Ninjas are relentless on him, though.
Yeah,
Citrix
Sin's
not
right
able
there,
to pick
too.
them off.
Sin
Wolfie's
finally goes
smart.
down. Calig's one tap. I think he's going to live through this. And just one ninja to beat now. Two ninjas with Alaska probably getting in the way. But not going to be enough. Still, though, that's the ninja cap. They need some other form of offense now.
And that was some great strategy by College. After College stole, rather than overextend and try to pearl all the way to his spawn, he saw Nemo behind him and chose to pearl backwards and drop it onto Nemo. Just some great game sense was able to contribute to that cap.
Absolutely. We also had Wolfie being harassed for a very long time by Double Ninja Sin from OVO. Decided to keep on blocking and trust his teammates in that situation.
Now, we still have a minute left, and in that minute, Citrix will no doubt be looking to get another cap. Still, 93 has been shepherded away from the flag room and knocked on very low health, so that's going to force the medic here to steal. Maybe look for someone to pass to. Problem is, since they've already used their ninja cap, he can't pass to any of the ninjas who roam up. That could mean he'll get pounded down here. He does actually drop the flag. But look at that, Alaska delaying to make sure the flag room was clear before he picked it back up.
Very wise decision there, especially since it looks like Citrix is actually out with the chemist. Getting crit out a lot.
Yeah,
by the
Wolfie's
double
almost
ninja
off
here.
the map. Look at him go.
Jeez.
That
That
might
boy
be the
went
last.
flying.
That might be the last best chance for Citrix on this map. They're going to have water down and 93 get in, but with Nin stall getting in the way, with everything else that could be happening here on this map, it's going to be very hard for him to get across the map. Although, you know, not if he keeps getting boosted. Good lord.
Wow.
Oh, but Bub
does
takes him
go down the bub.
And that's
Very
going to
good
be the
pick
map. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's that 15-minute map timer coming into effect. The Citrix just couldn't mount anything very powerful, seeing as they were rushing to it in that last minute or so.
I do actually have to butt in. That map was actually 20 minutes. I'm just checking scoreboard, and it seems like it was never set to a 15-minute timer. So I'm not sure if we'll see next map go to 15, but I assume they'll just keep it the same.
Perhaps. I had no idea.
At this point, we're going to have to keep it 20 minutes. Reason for that being that we don't want to make one team's map pick longer than the others.
Right. Makes complete sense. And I think that is the right thing to do. It being finals and everything, just the extra time will make things more exciting.
For sure, for sure. We do have Airlock 3 coming in. This is OVO's map pick. Very interesting map. We don't see it a lot in terms of just casual and PPM play. But it does have very large domes, open ceilings. Lets Soldier have a field day. Also worth noting that Elf is very strong if it's able to steal here. With the lack of a flag room defense outside of Pyro, unless the roaming is able to fall back, Elf should be able to get in and out very easily if unopposed.
Yeah.
So I do think... Oh, go ahead. Oh, or I can go. So I do think one of the reasons OVO picked this map was because of their bulk D and possibly bulk O ability on this map. You know, players like Alaska and Pab, who are just extremely good PvPers, can really be the difference on such an enclosed map like this. So it'll be interesting to see what their comp is on offense. I wouldn't be surprised to see them run a heavy.
Yeah, it is interesting to point that out. Heavy, I may have cut out there. Heavy being a very popular pick on Airlock 1 and Airlock Rework many years ago when this map was played on a different version that was much more enclosed.
Looks like we're stalled from starting for a second while OVO figures out their roles. It's going to be interesting to see, since they have to run an archer, where that archer is going to play.
I mean, I think both teams are figuring out what's going on right now. Looks like we need some whitelists down. So,
You being an archer main, Bosque, what would you do on this map?
if I had to play Archer,
Yes. Position-wise.
probably play the dome facing the other team's spawn, and go for headshots on that route, then headshot flag room by rotating back and sort of just rotate back and forth. So I'm going to have to take a quick second here, so I'm going to let you guys handle the hosting.
All
All
right,
right, sounds good to me. Looks like we have a little bit of a unfortunate clash with the technicalities of the rule set for participated being allowed to play. They will have to play around using an archer on defense, which can be done to good effect, but it does depend on the other team's composition, and it can easily be countered by simply going underneath the domes.
Definitely. Looks like Ovo is still trying to figure out who their eighth player is. Apparently, Aussie does not have internet. I guess that's what happens when you live in Canada. But hopefully they'll be able to get their eighth player, because it would suck being down one on a map like this.
Absolutely.
Oh, do they have 8, Sam?
They do have 8, but they would like to
Food court on
play.
red. I see.
Yeah. And they'd like to avoid playing Mario and Archer, is my understanding. So they'd prefer to have Aussie come in, and with his Wi-Fi being out right now, there's maybe a chance he'll be able to restart it and get back into the game. But very hard to say.
Also unfortunate that their 10th player on the roster, because they would technically have another sub if both Aussie and Mario were out, isn't anywhere to be found at the moment.
Do we have any idea who their 10th player was? I don't quite remember.
I don't remember at the moment either.
It might have been Evan, aka Saiyan, but I'm not sure.
That's right. Should be Saiyan.
And Saiyan would have been a great pick to have for Bulk D on this map.
Absolutely, one of the best
It's
in the
just a brick
business.
wall.
Yeah.
Overcast suggesting in chat for Aussie to attend his local cafe to finish the match.
Which tells me that the odds of his internet getting restarted maybe aren't the greatest. But at a certain point here, we will have to
That would also require players to go outside. And as we know, CTFers do not touch grass, which is why we're here playing competitive Minecraft at 3 p.m. on a Saturday.
Well, it is also a blistering hot summer, but never mind that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like for you guys, but it's been spicy around here.
Yeah, I'm coming from the southwest area of the United States. We are triple digits more often than not. For those who enjoy the Celsius scale, that's around 40 or so.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to get started here in a second. Thanks, guys, for your patience. And we hope you're enjoying the stream. So, if you've got any thoughts on how things are playing out so far right now, let us know in the stream chat. We appreciate everything. We see everything. And we would love to get a little feedback. So, again.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to be here on CMS and interacting with our community.
And a quick word from our sponsors, CTF Competitive, sponsored by Old Spice. Smell like a man.
All right, well, we may have an agreement that'll get us ready to go. I'm down to allow Aussie off of his roll lock. Allow Mario roll lock if that's what it's going to take to get us started. So, since Citrix have agreed to that, I think we're going to get going here, which is great news. And I think, everyone wants to see both of these teams playing up to their potential. So,
Absolutely. Hopefully the players on both sides are not too tilted after the occurrences.
Yeah.
Right,
And
coming...
right out of spawn, let's see if we have some adjustments here. Looks like NMPZ is going to be back on the medic. He was medic towards the end of last map, so this time around they're sticking with that adjustment, which is interesting. Mario actually gets stuck in a web there, so that's going to allow Wolfie to advance and cross the map. But I think it is actually just those two on offense together right now. No, actually, 93 is crossing on the other side of the map. But Wolfie's going to be the one getting the first steal. That's going to allow 93 to go in and get the flag for the time being. He's going to wind away.
Does have enough
Ryan-
regen as well.
Yeah, try and make it out of the flag. He is going to get to the chemist here before any of the ninjas catch him, so that'll put a little more regen on him. But the frenzy there,
Ooh.
very nice from Food Court, able to catch him at mid. Still, good sign so far for Citrix.
Absolutely. The power of Elf showing there, 93, even missing the initial pickup due to the flag not being recovered right away, it still managed to get very far, very fast.
Food Court taking a great route there to get on 93, choosing not to pursue him directly, but instead taking a quicker route through mid so that he was able to catch up to him by the time he hit that ladder.
Now, on the other side of things here, I do want to bring our attention to Bub, who's made it completely across the map. With that said, I believe that's a medic steal.
It
Right.
is. We do have the ninja and also a swap to scout by Overcast Unicorn to stop him dead in his tracks.
Yeah, that is a role that Overcast is known to flex to, especially when he's playing defense. He's also got some experience playing Necro D, so it'll be interesting to see if he brings that out at some point this map.
I can think of a couple players in particular that would be happy to see Necro defense.
For the time being, though, he's going to team up with Pavlik and take out the medic. Very good 2-on-1 there. Now,
We
on
do
the
also
by all means, go ahead.
have Mario on Ninja here instead of Bulk, which is interesting and also working out to be a very effective 93 counter. On the other side of the map, Bub is going to be able to steal and get to the top of the dome as Soldier. Very dangerous situation. Does drop right into lots of damage, but manages to avoid it. Ninja dies in front of him.
Nice.
Wow,
stab.
the medic web coming in
Yeah.
clutch.
College
the
just
college.
takes care of it right off the bat. Nicely done from him. Caught Khalid completely off guard, and to be fair, well, we'll get to that thought later. That's a
This is
ninja
93
steal
with
from 93.
Ninja. Yup, right onto the chemist, very far ahead of any of OVO's teammates.
And he'll
Does look like
As long
they're...
as CX can
There's
prevent the
just
steal
one
here, they
ninja
should
in
have
the
a
way.
cap.
2 ninjas now, but that's not going to be enough.
Wow, very good recognition from 93 to be able to swap to that role while his team was holding the flag.
And so now we have OVO in an interesting position, because they did get Mario on Bulk. This is their map pick. But even so, they're, with Aussie not being in the game, with some of their roster MIA, this is their map pick, and they're down a cap. Now, obviously, it's a ninja cap. It's a little easier to get sometimes than other steals, but putting them at a disadvantage this early can make a bit of a difference.
That's for sure. It can easily steamroll into momentum for the other team, as we see with 93 escaping in front of basically everything here, opting to take a safe route over the top, not to engage in too many fights, but does actually get into one. Mario able to rail him right back to where he started.
I thought he had a chance there to just gun it and ask his medic to respawn, to be honest. He was already pretty near spawn, but he chose to turn around to look for his teammate.
A very unfortunate miscalculation. Do have Pie Jelly with another steal, does end up going down to the Pyro, it seems.
Now, we will have a chemist steal attempt at the very least. That's going to be Nemo getting a bunch of damage onto U-Bow there, but he's able to get a steal at least for his effort. And so now we return to a little bit of a lull state on the map. And with our camera looking at mid, I think we can follow Overcast here as he tries to chase down 93. It's going to get a bit of help from Mario, who's moved over to the ninja right now. as it looks like this is OVO's adaptation to deal with the fact that they're playing into an elf and a chemist, as opposed to something bulky.
It is worth noting that Wolfie's survivability on Chemist, of all roles, has been very helpful and noticeable on the offense here. Does manage to get a few of the squishies on him, trying to take him down, but almost always makes it into flag regardless.
Overcast doing a great job of focusing Death Tag on the medic. It's been getting that consistently for the past couple of pushes.
So Wolfie's trying to get out here. He did have assassin support for a second, but still not able to go anywhere. And eventually, Food Court's just going to keep churning out those frenzies. Takes him down.
Oh, we do have Bub switching to Elf here. Oh, misses the win to the top, so does have to reroute. Looking a little low on it now, right after these wins out the exit, but he does have support.
He's
Ooh,
almost in a little bit of a better position, though, playing Elf into this, as you see what Citrix are running on defense. They have two different bulk players, so they only have the one ninja and the assassin to really chase down that Elf. Still, looks like was satisfied with that experiment and has moved back over to Soldier now. Does have, for the moment, inside position on Flays, but looks like he's not quite ready to cross the map yet, as the rest of his team's just coming out.
yeah, interesting to point that out. We'll see if Citrix try to make an adaptation for such a role change. He is back on Soldier, however. Looks like it was a one-and-done type of thing.
Yeah, and he got past Flays there pretty nicely. So he's going to go in and get the steal here. Well, either him or Yubao. Still, the bulk gets in the way right in front of the flag, and that is a lot of damage on the flagpole there.
Wow, both doing a great job despite Citrix Pyro dropping during that fight.
Yeah, and I guess that's the nice thing about having the two bulk players. There's still always going to be a lot of damage there, even if the Pyro does go down, if you're able to fight the other team with the flag.
You have 93 in alone against what appears to be all 5 of OVO's defenders. Ooh, but dear lord, Gaming Sock's going to be able to come in, pick off the Pyro with incredible ease. 93 managing to survive the defenders is out here. He's very low though.
Yeah, I mean, odds are against him, but he does have a medic there. Maybe a light at the end of the tunnel for him, but not quite there in time.
Very
So
unfortunate
Wolfie's
the
gonna get
offense did turn.
This flag first. He's going to beat the Pyro to it, especially with...
And
Food
Pyro
Court
actually
getting
gets
web.
dropped by Carson.
Yeah,
Wow, Food Court not having a good time on this map with how much focus is being put onto him. See if the roam can make up.
but
We
on
do
the other
have
side of
a-
things, yeah, Yubao's got a
Yeah.
steal. And this
Ooh.
is not bad one. He's out relatively far as well and does still have support. So if either of these flag holders drop, it's going to be a big swing of momentum, one way or the other. And look at that.
Oh, and Wolfie
down.
getting separated from all of his support. Double Ninja does take him out. Ubao has not been able to make it past the tunnel.
He's
Citrix
super
keeping
low.
up the support, but
He's waiting for
Wow.
restore now, but that's going to give Citrix more time to get in front of him. They're actually going to pass it to Bub here. And that could be a fateful move here, as it means he's going to be a bit harder to drop. There's no chance that a pot doesn't register or something like that goes wrong. Even with that being the case, though, he does get isolated briefly by Gaming Socks, but it looks like the play for Citrix is going to be to go for a steal of their own. They do kill the Pyro as well, so they should have a lot of support for this steal. Problem
and
is-
that swap kind of putting Nemo off course, but he does have support right where the scout swapped him into.
Yeah.
Is forced to go. Oh, taking a long time to get out of flag and also get restore. Looks like he was on cooldown.
I mean, he's
we do
got
have
a Pyro
Zeke
here.
here
This
as well.
is almost like a stalemate situation where he's in the other team's flag.
Has to be careful of the insta-kill assassin that could be around the corner.
Yeah, my
Also
guy's
for the
not-
OVO Pyro.
my guy's
which is-
moving. Does he think he's in the other team's flag? The other flag room?
Wow, got very stuck there. Does have the
I
engineer
think he-
here, but oh, he's going to die.
Medic's almost there. Oh my
Oh,
goodness! What a clutch
wow.
kill!
That was incredible.
should not have
Managed to
lived
get the perfect knockback onto the frenzying Pyro, and now he's going to get all 3 stakes back. OVO still pushing strong right into him. This has got to be the longest steal I've ever seen.
But the Pyro's lying in wait for him if he walks through this door. I hope Citrix is ready for this.
Does look like they were able to communicate it, and Food Court is stuck on top, while Nemo
He's
routes
lost his
right through the
support,
middle.
though. The
Food Court's
assassin
gonna cut him
got
off.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, this could be big. Ninja is also getting hits
no
in to
way
start.
out.
Wow.
And he goes down. what a clutch play from Pav to knock out all the support there. That's the only
Very
way Nemo
incredible
was going down. Yeah.
And that is just great positioning by Food Court, waiting on top for the perfect moment to drop and kill.
You have Pavlik holding a Sin, nothing on him, looking for the pass. He's going to be able to outrun everything for the time being, but decides to route back and fight, costing his life.
Ovo are making
do
some
have a
offers
lot.
right now. Looks
Ovo
like
playing down one player right now.
yeah, they do still have the steal though, but this is a slight bit of a communication issue here, I think, as Aussie wasn't really ready to go in by the looks of it. Even with them being down a player though, look at Bub, he's already out at mid. He's gonna
Wow,
get this
big
medic.
communication errors. It appears that the OVO was able to... Oh, but the
They
knockback
almost
is
have him off
intense.
the map, but almost is not good enough. He's going to make it to spawn here.
Wow. Last chance not going to spawn did not work. It looks like Citrix will need a steal to stay in this.
And
That they will get with
just
the
that.
oath.
Yeah, that's engineer.
There's actually an engineer.
Oh, Engineer is actually holding here. Interesting swap from 93, probably looking for more survivability in pure bulk rather than mobility. Is going to manage to get the restore here. Does need to be careful not to be crit out or caught by a surprise insta-kill.
Or knocked off the map by a ninja, as we almost saw there.
Wow. Very clutch from Citrix being able to adapt despite losing Bub. Bub crossing the map basically by himself. And now we have a stalemate between Engineer and Soldier.
Quite important to note that Ovo's still playing down one. Looks like they're asking for whitelist.
Unfortunately, Wolfie
This
is caught in the gameplay, our only moderator unable to do such a thing, and now is holding the flag.
I think this is Citrix's opportunity to go after Bub right now while they're down one.
Yeah, it
Means they
should
won't have...
Wolfie is holding, he cannot whitelist their player. They will be down one
Was this
unless another mod is able to join.
Was this a tactical move by Citrix to pass it to the only moderator in the game as to not be able to whitelist Overcast?
This could cause
we
major
may never
tilts.
know. We may never know.
I mean, this is
One of
bizarre.
the most creative strategies I've ever seen.
This is actually Airlock Bosque, but good try.
It looks like OVO will continue to be down one.
Yeah, as we know, the mental game was invented by iFlays, and it looks like Citrix is just putting that to use here, taking advantage of the situation. But can they get this recovery is the main question.
Yeah, it looks like OVO is still holding strong despite the errors.
Alright, looks like Overcast is whitelisted. So, we do apologize to both teams about that situation. Again, if we haven't communicated it already, we've had a little bit of trouble getting staff here today. So, fortunately, that situation's resolved. Both teams still have a flag, and we're in a situation now where things should be fair enough.
This is an interesting position to see both teams in at the moment. We do have Olympus with a map victory, only up 2-1 though, so should the map end in a tie, the deficit will not be that extreme. However, if OVO is able to get the recovery here, they could force it to 2-1, putting Citrix in a very tight corner with very little time to try and make a comeback. Very difficult to dedicate recovery while also leaving your carrier behind.
Overcast almost getting a spawn swap there, was about one block off with the swapper ball thing, but it's like Citrix's ninjas are really going to need to roam for him because he's getting there free most of the time. Or sorry, that was Ubao on scout now.
An interesting decision, not a role we usually see him on. Also worth noting here, we do have Mario on the original intended lock role of Pyro, or not Pyro, Archer. We actually have Food Court Pyro coming in right now. He does have the Sin tracking him, but does manage to take him out. He's going to be able to get in here, forcing the movement from Wolfie. Does frenzy the enemy Pyro as well, but it does look like he's well taken care of at the moment. Oh, still alive, has frenzy again. Oh, and it looks like a spawn swap was able to get off from Citrix's scout. With that death coming into play, Wolfie's going to be able to walk it in here.
That might be the turning point of the game. It's going to be interesting to see whether Citrix remains 100% devoted to offense or whether they choose to play more defensively and just try to get to map 3 with a win on the board.
Yeah, I would argue that OVO is not in a terrible position to push up more support. Bub is going to get the steal here, is met with bulk twice, but does have support, as well as medic regen coming off. Trying to reroute here, can't find a way out despite the mobility of Soldier.
But Alaska and Pab do a great job of clearing Citrix's defense, and they're just going to run with him support.
Oh, College does have Assassinate once again, thanks to a kill on Ninja. Is going to be able to cause blocking, but does go down. Looks like we have a turn here from Wolfie as well. Not going to be able to support 93. Bub does manage to get the restore here, but it does look like he has a lot of opposition, as well as Flay's doing a great job on Soldier, walling him off completely. Now stuck in the cove, forced to go underneath, down the middle. Ninja is going to be able to pick him off here, it looks like. On 1 health, Bub does survive, half a heart.
This has been a good route, but there's just too much recovery there. Yeah.
Bub doing a great job with his wall climbs, getting out of Assassinate multiple times.
Yeah, that could have definitely been a dangerous situation there, but both teams being able to hold strong until the bitter end.
So now we are going to have a steal from Bub and Yubao, as Yubao does a very good job clearing there. Mario also came in and helped as well on the ninja.
Does look like they have a lot pushed up here then. Medic is going to be with Ubao. Should be getting the restore here. Oh, but the bulk has caught up. Nemo doing a great job of knocking both the medic and the chemist back. Caught in the tunnel, does go down. Citrix bulk really putting in the work on a very bulk-dependent map here. No Pyro in flagrant for Citrix at the moment, but we do have Gaming Socks guarding for backup.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Left. This is
Correct me
going
if I'm
to be
wrong. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, with 2.5 minutes left, this is going to be OVO's best chance to turn things around. So you can sort of tell they're changing things up and trying to put on more pressure. And that's going to be...
And this is what I was about to
deal.
say, but OVO has not used their ninja cap. Ubao picks this up from Paijo's ninja.
Oh wow, this could be very big. It does have plenty of support. Citrix are probably going to need to focus his steal here, which they are going to be able to get with Wolfie dropping the Pyro. Is going to have to deal with the ninja, Bub getting right in front, followed by Alaska. Oh, but they both go down. Citrix really need to find a way to support here as the swap comes through and the ninja cap is held for OVO.
Yeah, and that's big. 2 minutes in, if they're able to tie this map, that means they're going in with a decided advantage into the agreed, which is Harvest. A map that plays like this, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Harvest definitely swapping up from many of the squishy classes more often than not, opting for stuff such as Necro and Heavy, which is a little bit less seen. They would also be going in with a capped lead if this ends in a tie.
That's a pretty big if, as Yubao's got a steal right now, and he's crossing the map at a pretty rapid pace. He is going the far tunnel. So
we do still have Pyro here as well. Is going to burn the Frenzy too early. Ubao is able to get the restore. Kalig not being dealt with at all, able to stay there and continue to help fight. Ubao trying to juke, but it looks like he's caught in the airlock tunnel. Never want to be here. Blaze still alive right now, putting in the work as College comes in for the cleanup with Assassinate. Coming down to the last minute mark here, we have a Sin and a Ninja on offense for OVO, really trying to seal this one out.
Yeah, Mario's supposed to be both D right now. That was agreed to by both teams. So
right, we did see him on Elf for the last push, which is very curious.
Yeah, definitely could cause some controversy in a moment. He was also on Ninja due to needing that for the role temporarily.
Yeah. Now, with that said, I do think he swapped off the elf roll right now, and we're going to see Bub go for that last steal. But
Now Bub is on Elf instead. Does manage to get nowhere though, unfortunately. And it looks like the map will end in this 2-2 tie, favoring OVO due to their map win on map 1.
And that really is quite unfortunate for Citrix. They would have loved to be tied going to that third map, but unfortunately giving up that last minute, or not quite last minute, but late game ninja cap. So they will need to win by at least one next map, or this map rather.
It is worth noting that we will go into overtime on the third map should we already be ending in a tie by the time the timer is ending.
yeah. I think we will go to a break here quickly as well, as we just get things sorted before our last map. Should be quick, a minute thereabouts, and then we'll be right back. So again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in a short second.
It's just so fast paced.
All right, we are
Alright.
live again with the match start. We've got Mario locked back to Archer for this map, and we're just going to get right into things. So, it's been an exciting first two maps. We are close to a draw here. We had a draw last map, close draw. And close to a draw overall.
Wow,
OVO.
College nearly obliterating Colleague there.
Now, we're going to see something we don't get to see every day, which is Harvest played in 8s. It's a map where most of the compositions that have been played so far are designed for 12s, so it'll be interesting to see how teams approach it. For Citrix, we do still have 93 on the Elf, which, you know, kind of has been his thing on offense for a little while, alongside Chemist. But still not something you necessarily expect to see in 12s on a super enclosed map. And then, you know, Wolfie on Chemist and PZ on Medic, as they've been doing. And then on the other side of things, we have Steal from the Assassin there. It's Pab off the flag room. And it looks like the one change in their offense that OVO have made is that Bub is playing heavy. And with this map's fast cap time, they're already across the map, while Wolfie is getting cornered by Food Court.
It is worth noting that OVO did have 5 players up on offense for that steal. Pavlik managing to finish killing off the Pyro, passing right to a Bub and, or not Bub, Bao and Kalig, full health ready to cross. So already the roam-ups of Harvest, typically seen in 12s, being applied to 8s very early on. We do have a ninja steal from College, being able to knock with the eggs, but does go down. 93 going to be able to pick up right outside, but does get caught in the medic web, and we know what that means. Instant kill.
Oh, yeah.
College did make a good play. I believe he may have gotten sniped by the fire arrow from Food Court on his way out, which did mean his pass did come a little prematurely.
Yeah, and now we end up in a situation here where we're back to a bit of a lull state. We've got Yubao and Kalig trying to cross the map together, warding off swarms of ninjas, and Yubao, at the very least, is going to be on full health, even after all of that. But that's bought a lot of time for Steel on the other side of the map, as 93 has made it out to mid.
Yeah, incredible routing from him.
And
getting out of flags so fast.
We're probably going to see the other flag holder run into 93 here in a second, as he has to survive Sayo. He has to survive Sayo. Oh man, he
just
does.
barely.
Wow.
My gosh.
And Overcast,
but the knock!
Overcast takes him off the map.
That was an incredible play by OVO Ninjas, as Bub is able to meet up with his medic here. Oh, but right into the Pyro. Doesn't get the light, but does get to charge Frenzy for a bit. Oh, College gonna pick off though. Fall damage helping out. Citrix there. Very unfortunate death for both carriers.
And I think had Wolfie tried to root a little bit closer back to mid versus the edge, he would have been relatively safer. Found himself right on the edge, facing 2 ninjas. Ultimately got the knock.
Yeah, 93 that is. And also important to note that was Overcast doing that. He's playing Ninja right now, and it's not a role he usually plays on defense. You expect Sayo to be a very strong Ninja player. You don't necessarily expect that anywhere near as much from Overcast.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that both ninjas do have a chance to be muted here. I don't know if Sayo is talking for this call. It's typically not something you want on your defense. We do have Bub with the switch to Elf, managing to stop the ninja with a reflected pearl. And he's able to easily get across with very little opposition in front. On the other side of things, we do have to...
being able to survive, yeah. He's made
so much stuff on him.
Have a medic, but Food Court is catching up, and he's got a Frenzy.
The ninja's putting in work. Overcast. Wow. Oh, and Sayo right after. The damage has brought him down to very few hearts.
Range here too. Mario has a clean look at him.
And we do have a pass on the other side of things. I'm unsure what Overcast is holding as. Wolfie's still at 0 pots, hasn't met the medic until just now. Ninjas were not able to cross fast enough to catch up to him. Looks like we do have a heavy holding.
Alright, well, let's take a look at Participated here as he closes in. He does have flays on him, so...
Does get the shot.
Very nice shot considering the pressure. Nicely
and
done.
we are holding as Pyro. Looks like we're going for an immediate pass. Does work out, ninjas are nowhere to be found.
And that's kind of how you have to do it. You don't want to give the ninjas time to get across the map, because they're probably not expecting them to be hanging out near the flag holder at that point.
Now we do, of course, have the classic heavy versus heavy on Harvest. This is a little bit of an infamous type of stalemate, as insta-kills are typically the only way to get a real push going without an incredible amount of bulk and the scout getting in.
We are also going to have an interesting choice here on recovery from Blue Team, as Bub's sticking on Soldier for this one, despite the fact that he's going to try to recover on a heavy.
Looks like we have College Degree on Scout, and any class actually going Archer for this. I do think is a pretty good shout. He has proven his power on such a class with some crazy shots before.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a very strong archer player in his own right. The only question, is how he's going to be able to keep up with the ninjas as he crosses the map. Because we did see today on Elf, at the very least, he was having a little bit of a hard time handling those one-on-ones.
The question is, can he manage to sneak a shot into this flag room, at least kill some of the support? Because the way I'm seeing it right now, he doesn't have that many angles. You're going to have to rely on ninjas to knock him out, possibly into headshot.
And they're actually switching that now. Speaking of switching, we do see Wolfie get swapped, at least for a quick second. But he'll be fine here. It's just the Scout and alone, and the Scout's actually just gonna play a little bit of harass right now.
We do have participated crouching outside, waiting for the chance to headshot. Good knowledge from Wolfie being able to move inside.
Yeah, but even with that being the case as well, it's going to be hard for the recovery to force him to move, since Z-Cray is holding on to that frenzy, at least for the time being.
It is worth noting that Citrix is down by 2 captures. Going to need 2 to be able to, at the very least, tie this up and send it into overtime. Harvest being an infamous recovery map, this could end poorly if they're not able to push up.
Now Mario's in position, but the ninja's already spotted him, so I don't think he's getting a headshot here. And that's going to mean the pressure on Wolfie is pretty limited. And with the pressure being limited, we're going to see Z-Cray try to cross the map here on Pyro. He does get out by the archer, who's trying to headbutt him. And now the ninjas are going to go after the Pyro as well. But even so, with only 5 hearts, he's going to make it in. Food Court's trying to hound him down now. The Pyro chasing the other Pyro to try and stop him from making it to the flag holder. And looks like Z-Cray's just going to, call it a day, go after the Pyro and see if he could at least make it easier for the rest of his recovery.
Yeah, Overcast
I
able
like
to
that.
run away.
I like that choice by Citrix sending the Pyro early. They need 2 caps to at least tie. It's not a bad play.
It is kind of what they have to go for, and I think Overcast has sort of decided to respect the threat of roams like that and moved a little further back towards the flag.
Now, of course, holding back there does give the opportunity for a void swap. Looks like he's moving back into flag now.
Well, yeah, and you saw what 93 was doing there. He was using that as an opportunity to try and pure spam down the flag holder since he was sitting outside. College is going to go in for a DT. I don't see the rest of his team there, though, so I don't think that DT is going to be doing all that much. And of course, on the other side of things, I'm sure or at the very least, to just send what they're going to send, not really force any plays onto red team's flag holder, opening themselves up too much. So again, we're sort of going to have to track what's going on here with Red's recovery.
It does look like we have their bulk lining up for an attack. Soldier and Heavy are both here, just hiding in different spots.
Yeah, Food Court does spot out someone and take them out. So it's going to be on everyone else converting to really get value. And Flay's here, alongside College Degree, who's on half a heart. They're going to be taken down by Pab. Nice awareness from him to get the assassinate, and he'll be pushing up with that extra health, I think. Maybe, well, looked like he might have been looking at a play for a second, but he's going to think better of it and just go and die to the heavy. So another swap here as we do see the dwarf actually come out from that. But again, Pavlik is clearing this recovery very nicely with his sin.
Yeah, many opportunities being dismantled before they can even mount. Pavlik on a kill streak here.
Yeah, quite the tear from him.
And he's going to be able to get another one, getting Assassinate back. This one-man roam is putting in so much work for OVO and is now
Yeah.
roamed up to try and make play of the game.
And he's definitely gotten confident with how things are going. He's got the medic.
He's got the medic,
Wolfie's
still alive.
isolated now. DT'd. Nemo's back, but that's
has
given the
assassinated once
assassinate back
again.
to Tab.
Oh,
That
it
was
does go
finally
down.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get quite enough damage, but as chances have gone for OVO, I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Wolfie does go down to 0 stake. They're almost successful. Pavlik putting in the work for this team right now.
I think teams are going to have to make some choices here going forward, because some things are working, other things are not. Outside of that initial headshot from Mario, we haven't really seen either team's archer be able to line up with the rest of their recovery. So at the very least, I think we need to see a little more coordination in that department.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Especially if Citrix wants to even try and win here. As OVO do not necessarily need to recover for this to be a win.
Overcast was briefly isolated there, and now he's getting pure spammed. There is a swap in DT as well, and he's run out of the flag room. Of course, 93 is going to have a hard time catching up to him on heavy, so that will buy him the time he needs to survive. But the elf choice is interesting here, I think. And we have seen it get a little bit of value and scare Overcast, force him to move and all that.
Problem, of course, being that Citrix has not been able to capitalize on that due to being out of position from the roaming of OVO.
No.
You have
Zebra
Pyro
tried
out.
to roam up there, yeah. But that assassin is just keeping him in check. Pavlik doing a lot of work this map. He's gonna get his assassinate right back off the ninja.
Wow. And right back to the roam.
Now, with that said, DT does come down. Pure was there, but that's really all that threat was against Overcast.
Yeah, Wolfie dropping again to, I believe, what was 0 stakes after that push. They are getting closer if they're able to get maybe one more bulk going in with them. We do have Pyro on the roam again, looking to frenzy, but his presence is known to be. Does end up going down to Pavlik. Going to go and help his ninja friend. Does get swapped out of the assassinate, keeping 93 alive. Still behind, possibly has used already. Swap comes in, but no death tag is able to be gotten off. And the elf is easily dispatched.
Yeah, both teams are trying the pure strat now. That should also be noted. We did see Bub try and go elf recovery there.
And as our streamer here points out, an NPZ is off medic. We have iFlays as Wolfie's medic instead.
Interesting. Okay, so they're trusting NMPZ on the bulk a little bit more now. Which will make things interesting here as Yubao does make it in, but briefly, only briefly, as he gets taken down by the Pyro.
And I
You
do
do need
like
to
the
see-
switch. I do like the switch by Citrix. I think NMPZ, a great PvPer. They could have used his power on Recov a little bit earlier, but now only 5 minutes left.
Of course, it's going to be
Yeah.
tough to get people into the flag here, including the Pyro, who gets taken down by Food Court. Still, the Dwarf is alive, as is the Scout. With those two classes out on the field, there is always some kind of chance that some tomfoolery will happen. Even moving Overcast around a little bit, without getting too much damage, does open up opportunities for other people to come in and do their own shenanigans. We haven't seen Nemo roam too much, for instance. But if he had been able to jump Overcast during one of those little laps he was doing outside of the flag room, there might have been a chance there to get the assassinate.
Definitely. Worth noting that the amount of bulk that both teams can send is a little limited. Both carriers being heavy, and 8s having a heavy limit of 2 means that you can only really use one to capitalize off of something such as Death Tag. College Degree going to be able to get a good swap in, but right into the Pyro. does go down alongside his
And
team.
Secret made it into their final
What?
undetected.
But the Sin's also around. Nemo was there a second ago. But it looks like he's been taken care of at some point. So
Wow, what
Pyro
an
getting in.
unfortunate whiff.
yeah, very, very close call.
You have Wolfie outside now.
And that
Are
is,
going to manage to stay intact, and Zekray is going to once again roam up on the recov. Really needs something here.
and they just have to keep doing it at this point, regardless of the risks. Good swap. Separates Overcast from his Pyro, but ahead of the rest of the team. And so, as a result, swap does nothing. And looks like a reset for Red's Recov. As Mario, again, has been stuck on Archer this whole time. That's what Rollock will do. And he's just swinging around to hopefully get a headshot here, as they're going to try to make Wolfie move. Of course, he's been spotted out by Gaming Socks, or Red Army faction. Wolfie is going to get hounded a little bit now as Bub gets the DT off, but I don't think too much is going to be done off of that as he sticks around in the flag room. There was a DT apply on the other side of the map, but it looks like it's been handled as well.
It's like some friendly banter in chat between 93 and Pablo.
Yeah, as friendly as these teams are right now anyways.
We do have Zekray on the roof, coming in what looks to be like undetected. Gonna catch Overcast coming outside, but no, Overcast goes right back inside.
Yeah, oh, Nemo's
Great
there.
two
Oh,
hearts.
that's
Nemo's
the
here with the
medic.
Sin.
Oh, but on the other
but a
side,
recovery on the
there's
other
Carl.
side.
And it
Looks like he went down to damage.
that could be the end of the game right there. 2 caps, 2 minutes left. And for Citrix, they've got to get a third.
Absolutely.
And folks, with Ubao's recovery there, that is your Geico play of the game.
Oh man, I wish we had sponsors. So, I mean, that was the risk of sending all that recovery after Overcast. Does weaken Wolfie's position, but the alternative is just to sit there and lose the game, so you definitely cannot blame Citrix for that.
Very true. Do have a last-minute steal here, quite literally, from Wolfie.
Paths.
He's going to pass to the Ninja. I don't know if they can make it happen.
Get it out.
Overcast is going to be there to meet it.
And yeah, 3 caps in 59 seconds are physically impossible, so they might as well call it a day here, but it's a great effort from Citrix here.
Yeah, they kept it close throughout the entire thing, and, you know, if they'd clutched up in 1 or 2 more of these little important moments, maybe we'd see a different result today. Instead, you know, 93 is probably going to be able to bring this flag across the map as Soldier, and they will probably be able to hunt down Calig, who's stolen the flag on Medic, but at best, that's going to be a consolation cap. So,
Will they even get it is the question.
We have Gaming Socks here, doing what Gaming Socks does. Does go down, though. And Calig appears to just be stalling out, just to make sure they can't get 1 cap on the board.
yeah,
I
mean, a
reckon you
few
should
more
just jump off
seconds
the map here.
Yeah, and he would have been able to do that.
Worth noting that the medic limit is 1s. Oh, it does go down!
Can they
That
cap?
happened. Where's
No,
Niklas?
actually.
Oh no!
Where was
Yeah,
93
yeah.
there?
I believe he got
Oh,
either
man.
switched out or stalled.
And you know
Unfortunately.
So
I was going to ask you guys who I thought player of the game should be, but with the clutch moments he's had, and considering this is his first tournament win of any kind, considering he's been losing so many of these finals in the past, don't you guys think it would be great to give that to Overcast?
I would give it to either Overcast or Pavlik personally. A lot of
I
that
would give it-
stalemate was definitely Pavlik just ruining the ability of Citrix to do anything. And he also had some good moments on the previous maps as well.
I think Pab did play great, but Overcast's ability to just swap between roles, I mean, we saw him on Soldier, Heavy, Scout, Ninja, and he was just able to do so much on every map. I would be +1 for giving it to him.
That is very true. That is actually a bit of an underrated factor considering the amount of powerful players he was playing with, too. So I would
pull him
definitely
in
be
for an
willing
interview
to.
question.
I don't know if he would be able to accept an interview.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I forgot about
Kind of a
that.
little bit of a concern.
However, we could pull in Team Leader Food Court if someone is able to go and grab him very quickly.
That's a great idea.
Would be down for that. So let's see how he's doing.
And I guess we have also decided on Overcast Unicorn as player of the game.
Yeah, great job to him. Great job to Ovo. They weathered through some tough times during this tournament, especially being down players at various points during the match. They will be taking home $10 of Brawl store credit apiece, as well as
Whoa.
custom tag with
Gonna look very pretty in the PPMs to come.
exactly. I mean, custom tags like that are something very new to CTF, and getting one for your team, I mean, why not, right?
And with that $10 a piece, Ovo's players' net worth just practically doubled, if not more. But looks like Food Court's in here now for his post-match interview.
Yeah, hey,
Perfect.
congrats.
Thank you.
So, obviously, an interesting tournament for you guys. You had some connection issues with Aussie. We know at some point there are stretches where you were playing down a player during that match. It did take a lot of perseverance to get through all of that. How's your team doing after that match?
I mean, we're happy, but like, you know, it was stressful. Obviously, we were down a player for like 5 minutes on Airlock. It kind of sucked, but I'm glad we were able to persevere.
Yeah, that was definitely an issue, and an apology on behalf of the Brawl staff team for just not being
no,
around.
it's all good. I mean, we were kind of being a little bit over the top in chat, but you know, it's just competitive nature.
Well, follow-up
Obviously.
question to that, Food Court. Do you think Citrix purposely passed to the only moderator on the server just so they wouldn't whitelist your player?
No, that's a conspiracy, and I don't know.
Okay.
I think that Wolfie's a very nice person, an upstanding individual, and I don't think he would try and cheat.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks.
Yeah, look at you, Avi, trying to instigate.
So, on top of all of that, in terms of the compositions that were flying around, they definitely did change a lot. Talking about the player of the game that was nominated in Overcast Unicorn swapping through roles a lot, but it was also the status quo for a couple of other players on your team, especially having to make accommodations for Aussie lagging out. How did that all go down? Were you guys okay with what you ended up with?
I mean, we wanted Aussie to play, obviously. It kind of sucked. Like, that was a big issue, obviously. But in terms of player of the game, I think I might have to give a shout out to Alaska. I think he did a lot on Ninja. He was solo roaming a lot, did a lot of, killed the scout a lot, you know, did his job. I think I should shout out him for player of the game, personally.
Yeah, we did see some really nice moments from him. He was handling the offense very nicely from what we saw and got a lot of value on the map. So definitely credit where credit is due there. I did also want to ask about your offense and the swaps you chose to make at certain points, because we saw you guys favor the elf at certain times. We saw you guys start out with heavy offense on Harvest. Did you have plans going into those maps as to what you were going to run? And with regards to Harvest in particular, why'd you go with the heavy?
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't. I left the offensive kind of comms to Bub. I let him kind of take care of that because I was on defense. So anything he said, we kind of went with. So I can't really speak to that too much.
All right. Well, with that being the case, I think I've gotten to ask everything I wanted to ask. Avi, Dona, any other questions?
Not
that's
really.
about it from me. Congratulations on your epic, historic win.
I'm just happy Avi's here. That's all I have to say.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Worth noting that the win does come with the first ever tag prize, I believe. Could be wrong. For a tournament of this nature.
We're definitely happy with that. You know, it's a historical accomplishment.
Oh, I do have one more question that I've been begging to ask since the beginning. What is the history between the name Ovo? As we know, it means egg in some language, I think. But
OVO is kind of it's a Drake reference. I think Pavlik and Alaska are probably the biggest Drake fans you'll ever meet. So winning that tag is going to mean a lot to those two guys. I'm just happy they can finally kind of represent Drake on Minecraft Capture the Flag.
I'm sure Drake would be proud. Super
I'm
proud.
sure.
All right. Well, thanks again. We appreciate the interview, Food Court. So thanks for
course.
stopping on by. And to everyone in stream chat, thanks for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. We got a close finals match for our first Summer Bash tournament, and we look forward to doing some more of these as well. So we hope to see you guys around in the future. It's been a fun broadcast. This is Bosque alongside Cardona and Avi, signing out.
Peace out.